Hi everyone, this is Professor Williams. I wanted to give you a quick video because some of you may be new to SNHU and to the Brightspace model, and so I wanted to kind of teach you how to navigate the course so that way you're successful in being able to locate your learning modules and discussions and all of that. So if you, I'm sharing my screen with you right now. So whenever you first log into the course, this is what you will see. So you'll have the most recent class announcements, which are really important, listed in the front of the page. There's some quick links on the right-hand side. So if you need to use the Shapiro Library, you can go here. Learning how to cite your sources. So that's for APA citation whenever you're doing research papers and things like that. And then if you scroll down a little bit further, this kind of gives you all the modules that you will be going through. There's 8 total modules. And then there's the Academic Support Center and the Career Center if you need that, which we'll return to momentarily. So back up to the announcements. I release announcements for all of your graded assignments that tell you how to walk, kind of like go through it, what I expect. I give you examples. In many instances for like your milestone projects, I've recorded videos that are there to clarify information that students have found confusing in the past. So it's really, really important that you check these announcements every like 1 to 2 days. Otherwise, you may miss something and you may miss important updates to the class. So if you want to view all of them, which is what I like to do, you would go to this course menu button, you would click it, and then you would just click on announcements. And this way it gives you the full announcement, whereas I'll go back to the home page. On the home page, it just kind of gives you a snapshot. So it's much better to be able to see the entire announcement. So since this class hasn't started yet, there's not too many announcements in there. So one of the first, and if you want to see older ones, you just scroll down. So this has got my instructor information on it, and then participation guidelines and the welcome message, like what this class is about. But as we go through the course, as we go through the term, this will be updated with announcements about your assignments. So once you have looked through that, you'll want to go to Learning Modules. And this is where all your course information is. So you start on the Start Here button, and this kind of shows you the syllabus, how we grade using rubrics, and then once you've gone through that, now this won't be here because this is for me. You'll click on Module 1 and you'll click on the beginning. And this kind of just gives you an overview of the module and what it is you're expected to read. There is a textbook for this course. So this is where you'll find what chapters you need to read. And then some videos to watch that kind of help support the discussion or other assignments that you're doing. Whenever you're done with that, you move on to the next thing. Each module has some information for you to review over different biology topics. This first module is about the scientific method, so it kind of walks you through how to utilize that and what it is. And then it also talks about living and non-living things and how to classify them. Then there's the discussion. Some of these discussions are worded kind of strangely. Your instructors don't, I didn't design this course. There's a different person who does that. So I just kind of take what they've done and teach it and kind of walk you through how to do it and grade and everything like that. So sometimes these discussions are worded a little weird and information can kind of be buried. So make sure that you read over it really carefully because in a lot of these discussions, there's questions for you to answer, but then in your peer replies, you're kind of doing something a little different. So you just kind of be mindful of that. And also look to the class announcements, because I have rearranged some of them, and I'll let you know that ahead of time, like, hey, this one's kind of not how it appears in the module. So just be mindful of that. And then most modules have a journal. The journal is not like a handwritten journal like you're used to. It's a document that you submit. So for instance, this gives you instructions and they want you to answer these questions. And then it, you submit it as a document. And any assignment like this and the discussions have a rubric associated with it. So I'm going to click on this because this is your journal rubric. And this is exactly how I grade you. So if you're, for this element, if you're exemplary, then, you get the points for exemplary. If in this, let's say you forgot this element, then, there's no evidence and you don't get points for it. I would have the rubric open whenever you are completing your assignments, because the rubric's kind of like a checklist and you can just say, oh, yep, I got that one. Check, check, check. And make sure you don't miss anything. So that's it for rubrics. And then I believe this is the end of this module. Oh, this is to review the final project. I'm going to make another video about that, so we'll come to that later, because this is a big deal that needs a video all on its own. So yeah, so that's the end of that module. So that's, yeah, and if you need to get to any module, they're all listed right here, whatever you need. Let's say that you need a little bit of support. Let's say you're not doing so well with a concept, or you need help with your writing, different things like that. So you can actually navigate to academic support, which is at the bottom underneath module 8. And you can actually get help with your schoolwork. So let's say that you need your paper edited, or you need somebody to look at your paper and make sure it's okay. You can actually upload your paper to the academic support team, and they will go over it and help you with that. You need to do it early. You can't do it the night before. They won't be able to get it back to you in time. And then let's say you just need a little bit of extra help with the biology subject. You can actually get tutoring in biology and ask them questions in case you can't reach me or for whatever reason. I should be your first go-to if you have questions. Email me, and I typically respond within 12 to 24 hours, just depending, unless it's the weekend. But if it's during the week, I typically respond quickly. But then, let's say it's the weekend and you just need help on a certain question, you can go to a tutor and they can help you. Let's see, what else? All right, so if we go to discussions, this actually lists all your discussions as they open. So there are more discussions than this, but you can't see it right now because the course hasn't started. So, but that, if you just need to quickly go, that's how you go. And then if you want to look at your assignments, those are all listed, and it will tell you if you have submitted it or not. And then the point values for them. And then finally, the grades. And so as I grade your information and it comes in, what will happen is you'll receive a score, it'll give you the grade, and then typically in this column right here where my arrow is, there's feedback. So I'll either leave you feedback inside of the rubric, or I will leave you feedback in the feedback box. And that might just say, hey, go to the rubric. I've left, individual feedback in the rubric. It just depends on what the assignment is. Sometimes I just leave it in the feedback box. So other than that, that's pretty much the how to navigate the course. There are some tools here that you can kind of play around with. They're not really that important. I went ahead and went over the main things. We're just going to go ahead and go back to the home screen. Um, like I said, the main important thing that I really want you to take away from this is check the announcements. Check them, and your school email, your SNHU email, because that is where I communicate to you. Because I mean, just last semester, something happened in the course, and I had to change due dates, and so I had to, tell everyone like, "Hey, this assignment is now due on this time." And there were people who barely checked their email, or they barely checked the announcements, and they missed it. And so that's kind of on them, because I had told everyone ahead of time, like, this is where you have to check for communication. So you can't say, "Well, I don't check my email." Then yeah, that one's going to kind of be on you. But other than that, if you have any further questions or concerns, you can always reach out to me. You can find my email in my instructor profile, but you can also go here and click on it, and you can just hit send email. And that way you can copy this too. That way you can find me and just email me really quick and ask whatever questions you need to ask. I'm looking forward to working with all of you this semester. I love biology. It's one of my passions, and so I'm excited to get to see all of your projects and get to know you better and help you kind of learn this subject and figure out how it's relevant to your daily life. So looking forward to seeing you the rest of the semester.